We're going way back down to high school on this week's episode of OnStage Blog Theater Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the OnStage Black Theater podcast. And today we are going way back into our high school days, and we're talking about high school theater, and particularly through the lens of Hadestown Teen Edition. So it's going to be super fun. And I am theater critic Rachel Wagner, and Jacqueline Collier is here.
I'm so excited to be here. As someone who definitely peaked in the musical theater department in high school, I'm glad to relive the glory days.
Yes, and I'm very excited. We have with us a special guest. We have Jordan Long, who is the head of theater at Liahona Preparatory Academy here, and I've been so impressed with Jordan's productions. He's bold and gets the best out of these students, so I just couldn't think of anybody better to come on and talk all things, particularly Hadestown, but all things high school theater. Jordan, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
So this is your first time on the podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners? Tell us a little bit about how you got into to become a theater teacher.
Yeah, so I actually have a unique path to becoming a theater teacher, but I was a theater kid, like a lot of us were, and I actually attended Liahona in high school.
No way.
At the time, Liahona didn't have a theater department, and I had come from a junior high school that had a robust theater department and still does, I think, Timberline Middle School. Doing great stuff over there. And so I came from that, and I wanted a theater program. So I started a petition my junior year in high school, and I got 150 kids to sign this petition saying, we want a theater class. And so my senior year, I did all the community theater stuff I could. And then my senior year, I did Liahona added a theater program, and I got to do that one year. And I left on a mission for my church for a couple of years. And when I got back from that, the administrator at the school reached out to me and was like, hey, our old theater teacher is leaving. I know you were really gung-ho about it. Do you want to take over and teach theater? And I said, sure, why not? I had no idea what I was doing and jumped both feet in. And
Wow.
We did Curious Savage and Snoopy that first
yes.
year.
Oh, it's quite the range there, too, which I know.
Range, yeah.
Yeah.
But we only had like 8 students that first year that I did it. And, the rest is history. So.
I'm curious where you did your mission and if little theatrical things were sneaking in while you were there.
Yeah, I served in the Philippines,
Okay.
Which is crazy. And, not a ton other than the culture in the Philippines is all about performing. And so like meetings of the missionaries coming together, sometimes like each area would be asked to like do a skit. So I always got to write and direct the skits, which was always fun.
Yeah,
That's
you're making
amazing.
zone conferences fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know it.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a crazy story. I feel like, Jax, we need to get some of our writer friends on this, because wouldn't that make like a great like decom?
Oh, that would be incredible.
Yeah. Like the high school drama kid makes the drama happen in their high school, and then he goes on to become the teacher.
Yes. Oh, that would be an excellent decom.
Yeah. I feel like we need to call like Julie Sherman Wolfe immediately and get her on this.
Right. Oh, she would be the perfect person for it.
Yes. Well, very cool. That's great. Well, I've just been so impressed, I think, with your ambition that you pick stuff that is really hard, and just the scope of your productions, very impressive. Is that something that you're consciously trying to like, okay, I want to keep pushing myself, I want to keep challenging myself?
Thank you. Yeah, and it's less so myself and more so the kids,
Yeah.
We've got such a great group of kids, and we always do, and they have such passion and desire. At Liahona, we put a lot of emphasis into like why we do theater. which is more than just to show off or to have fun or to do those other things, but it's to like, to hopefully help other people, and to share an important
Yeah.
message and whatnot. And so, more than anything, that's often, what goes into selecting the shows is, what's going to help our students to grow, what's going to help the community at large that's going to see the show grow. And that often leads to a lot more of the challenging,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
challenging stuff, which
Yeah.
each year our amazing music director, Alexa Thompson, each year when I pick a show and tell her what I want to do, she's like, "How did you find a show more difficult than that to do musically?" And she does an incredible job at figuring out how to teach these kids the music in such a
Yeah.
short span and short amount of time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first show that I saw at Liahona was Starlight Express. And I mean, Jax, you probably remember after I saw it, I was like, I was
yes.
raving.
Yes. I think you had been changed. You were like, oh
really
my.
But I mean, how were you able to get them to do the skating and like the way you designed the whole track and everything? Like that was amazing.
Well, thank you.
Nobody fell, not one time.
Yeah, which is impressive because we had many conversations about that.
Yeah, I sure did.
In fact, like jokingly, I told the kids, I said, "Now look, guys, we're doing this show. And I have seen this show once before, and it was at the Tuacahn 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was. I don't know how long ago it was." I said, and the only thing I remember from the show, literally the only thing, was when one of the actors just standing there just like ate it. And
oh my gosh.
I was like, that's the only thing I remember. So don't be that person. Like, don't be somebody's memory 20 years for falling. But no, the design was done by our amazing tech director, Brian Hadfield. And we were ironically looking for something a little simpler to do. Tech-wise.
Really?
And originally I said, look, I want the track to go out over the audience. And he said, look, I'm only doing this show if we're not going over the audience. And I said, okay, we'll just go into the audience. And so that was one thing. But when we announced the show, we always announce our shows at like an end of year Tony Awards style.
Yeah.
And we had got 50 pairs of roller skates ahead of time. So when we announced the show, we handed out roller skates to all the kids and we said, start practicing now.
Smart.
And we got a bunch of like year-long passes for the kids. Some of them went and got year-long passes to like classic skating.
Yeah.
And the department would go over the summer. Some of them were going every day and learning tricks and practicing and everything. And then once the show was cast and all the kids were doing it, it was even more incredible because, we're a junior high and a high school, right? So there's always a junior high production that goes before the high school production about a month. And each night after the junior high show would finish at 9:30 or 10, all the high school kids would be waiting out in the lobby with their roller skates. And once the house was cleared of all the audience, they would go on in and they would skate for 2-3 hours, run their choreography, run it all. It was just the dedication of the kids in general over the years, but that year specifically was just so like it wasn't me. It was their like desire to put on the best show that they possibly could.
Did you have any parents that were concerned for their safety? Because I roller skated once on stage in a play called Bob Rauschenberg America. It's a Check Me play. And I was an adult then, but I mean, we were slipping and sliding all over that stage. There were like 9 of us. And it was
I fall sometimes just walking like a normal human. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and there were a couple minor to medium injuries that did happen during the run of the show. But we started at the beginning of the semester. We had all the parents and kids sign double waivers, just being aware because we were like, things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And there was one kid whose parents said, "Yeah, I think we're not going to do this one." And that was okay. We weren't mad or anything, but yeah.
I love it.
That is amazing. I mean, were you happy with how it turned out?
I was thrilled with how
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like to this day, I mean, even just a couple of months ago, right? I was doing a youth theater show here at the school, with a different organization, and I saw this like, 7 or 8 year old boy walking out with his mom after the show, and I just hear him turn to his mom and go, "Mom, when do we get to see the train show again? When are they going to do that one again?" It's
Oh,
just kind of like become this lore at the school, and it was just this cultural, cult phenomenon that happened around the school that everybody still talks about to this day. All the little kids were just in love with it and enthralled,
Yeah.
which was cool because it was, that wasn't the goal originally, but it ended up kind of like instilling this love of theater into the younger community around, of this belief that like theater can be cool and theater can be fun, and it's not just kids up there singing or whatever.
Well, I said in my review, I said all the costumes and lighting were excellent. And like I said, the racetrack was outstanding. And I will definitely see anything else that director Jordan Long does in the future because he got the best out of his young cast and the whole thing was fresh and exciting. I loved it.
Well, thank you. It was fun.
It was so fun. Yeah.
I think it's so incredible when, Rachel, I think you always do such a great job of appreciating the best in shows, but you do see so many. And I remember after you saw that production, you just had this like light and energy that's different. And like when you can make, you're certainly a theater lover, but then when you can see something that you're like, oh wow, this hit me in a whole new way.
Yeah.
That's just really incredible, especially when you're working with kids.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, a couple others that I've seen. So Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I have to admit, I think this as a play, I think it's kind of boring. I don't love this play, but you again got the best out of your students, and you could tell that they were all having a great time, which is the most important, of course, in high school theater.
Yeah. Have you seen the full version, like the 6-hour version?
No, I will never.
It's so good. The 6-hour version is so good. The high school version that they gave
I can barely get through the high school one. I think it's so boring.
The high school one they gave us is so rough. I'm telling you though, like we got that script and I was like, this is what you're giving us to perform? Like the 6-hour version, which I've seen a couple times on the West End.
I have read it. I read the book of it.
So like mind-blowingly like exciting for like being like a Harry Potter kid, like growing up with Harry Potter. I like that was so cool. And then we got the high school version and it was like, how do we make this?
Yeah, you're like the only high school theater directors like, I wish we could do the 6-hour version.
I am. I probably am. I was like, I want the 6-hour version. But Harry Potter was a beast.
Yeah.
To put on. The store was built for that show, actually. It was behind me.
Which one did you see, Jax? Which Harry Potter? How long?
So I saw the one that was not the 6-hour version. And, I will say, I've never read or seen Harry Potter. I don't know how. I just miss random pop culture things, like never really watched Friends, Gilmore Girls. So like, I don't know. Somehow I just miss things. But what I will say is, even though I'm actually truly not that interested in the subject matter, the acting was so incredible that I was blown away.
Yeah.
And it was the whole theater felt very immersive, so I was intrigued by the story. But that's so interesting, Jordan, to think about this 6-hour version because, whoa, Nelly, I would have been intrigued to see that.
Yes. Let's see what I say. I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of the story of this play or the pacing. I can't believe it's longer on Broadway. And at one point was 6 hours. Kill me now. But I do appreciate that. I was particularly impressed with the amount of practical sets they use in this production. Other performances of this play I've seen recently have been very projection reliant. And I think that it is a missed opportunity for the teams to show forth their creativity and learn new skills in set building, painting, and designing. So
Yeah.
that was one thing that stood out.
Yeah, we and our technical theater team, just our team in general, like, and I'll probably say this multiple times, like it's never just me. Like the team that we have is so incredible. And Brian and Cannon Hadfield. So Cannon graduated from Liahona 5, 6 years ago, and then came back to help on the technical team. But they
Uh-huh.
do all that tech stuff and what they are able to pull off. And like you said, like learning for Harry Potter, we had to learn so much that you would never even think about. Like, how do you make someone literally just disappear on stage? How do you make someone turn into somebody else? And dealing with live animals because we had
Yeah.
a live owl flying over the audience in that production, and just figuring out how do you use lighting to, I mean, it was the amount of things that we had to do in that show. I think
Wait,
there were
sorry,
six.
I don't mean to interrupt. Did you
Yeah,
say there was a live owl?
yeah, we had a live owl in the production that was trained to
Are you
fly
being
out
serious?
Yeah.
over the audience. Yeah, and so like dealing with
This
all of
is
these moving
amazing.
pieces.
You really buried the lead there.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait,
No, I'm telling you,
that's
Jax. This
amazing.
we need to get you to come out in
Yeah,
April
I
because
need
this
to
you
come.
got to see this.
I don't
It's
even know. Sorry, I
crazy.
didn't mean to derail you, but my brain, I think, broke a little bit in the best way when you said that. I was like, wait, did I miss a joke about that? No, this is just how you do it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I was actually just thinking the other day because I was joking about it because I was thinking of a show I wanted to do, and I was like, well, we'd have to have a live horse in that show. And then I realized I was like, well, over the last like 7 years at
Oh, a
Liahona,
horse. Oh, okay. Yeah.
we have had on stage a live owl, so a trained owl, a trained camel. We did two trained llamas in a production of Aladdin this year. We've had three different trained dogs, a trained rat in a production,
Oh my
which was
gosh.
insane. We like had to purchase rats and train them ourselves to be in a show. Like it was a rabbit. We had a rabbit in a show one year. Like I don't
Unbelievable.
even like do it on purpose, but like my like my theory and my philosophy, and same with our tech team, like as a whole, is like if something will make the show, if something will help tell the story in a better way, then we're going to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if that's a live animal, it's a live animal. If that's making it rain on the stage, we're going to make it rain on the stage. Like we'll
Hmm.
do what we need to do to tell the story. And then people ask us, like, like we rained in our most recent production, and
Yeah.
the number one question I got was, "Oh, so are you going to do like Singing in the Rain now, or are you going to make it rain in all your shows?" And I was like, "No, we took the whole thing apart when we were done. Like, we had no intention to rain ever again. Like, because we just needed it for that show, so we did it for that show."
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about that. So Children of Eden,
Mm.
I've only seen it one other time at BYU years ago. I had seen it. So I was so excited when I heard you all doing it. You weren't tempted at all to do the junior.
No, I didn't even cross my mind.
That's amazing. Because I
No,
mean,
no.
this thing has 33 songs.
It's a beast.
Unbelievable.
It was a
Yeah.
beast.
You were just like, no, we're absolutely gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a stunning show. Do you have a favorite song from that show or a favorite moment from that show?
I do. So it's changed, over my life as I have become a father and my roles have changed. But my three tops are first is the hardest part of love
Mm.
that Noah and Father sing together at the end about
Uh-huh.
like how to like teach your children and then letting them go and make the decisions on their own is one that's just always really heartbreaking to me. And then Father's Day, that Father sings in the first act when
Yeah.
Adam and Eve are just there peacefully sleeping, and he's just dreaming about all the great things that they will become.
Yeah.
And then it's just this tiny little reprise that Eve sings towards the end of Act One, the Spark of Creation reprise,
Mm.
where she looks at Cain and she goes, "I see it now in him, that spark of creation. Like what?
Mm.
Now I've passed it on to my son."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, like that worry of like, what did I raise my child right? Those ones really hit hard for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Well, the Adam and Eve stuff I felt like was almost, there was a contemporary almost feel to it. Like it felt very like set and everything felt very simple. So it made the arc and this crazy set piece like even more stand out for Act Two, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we wanted there to be a big shift there,
yeah,
but
there
to
was.
still follow the character arcs that follow through into the second
Mhm.
act.
Yeah. And the Stranger in the Rain, that was the highlight of the
Oh,
show. It was
song's
that
incredible.
was so good.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you enjoyed it. It was fun. That was a challenge figuring out how to, put kids under a rainstorm for
Yeah. And it was
10
a lot
minutes,
of rain.
and like, with towels backstage and we had to figure out how to like run the water through water heaters so that they weren't like,
Mm.
it's for their well-being. And then how do you drain all of that water on a stage that's
Yeah.
just a stage, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
It was a cool number.
Yeah. I said the most awe-inspiring scenes of the night are the rain sequences on the ark with Yona singing Stranger in the Rain and Japheth and Yona singing In Whatever Time We Have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Cool.
Yeah. Very good. I said I was very impressed with the students and Jordan Long for continuing to push his teens with bold, ambitious projects. I will always be the first in line to see what they're working on.
Do you think that the kids that you teach understand just how unique and special this is to have a theater teacher that pushes boundaries in this way and really takes risks?
I don't know. I don't know if we really talk about it too much, and I think they, because there are so many, and it's just different, right?
Yeah.
Like, just I'm different, and there's other theater teachers in the state of Utah that are, doing similar things and pushing different boundaries in different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Like, um, I got to go see when we were doing Hadestown that same season, I got to go see another high school do a production of Hadestown. I had 185 kids in it, which
Was that in Riverton?
no, it was up at Hillcrest.
Oh, okay. I
But I
didn't see
heard
that one.
Riverton's was great
Oh, it was
too.
so good.
Like
It was
just
all
getting
really
to
cool.
like see like the theater teachers in Utah. I feel like Utah is incredibly blessed with such a great level of high level of theater teachers who are pushing
Yeah.
the boundaries in all these
Yeah.
different ways. And this is the way that I choose to do it, and so my kids get to participate in these types of things. But then there's, other theater teachers doing other, incredible things as well. And, I think just any kid in the state of Utah is lucky to
Yeah.
be in the state of Utah where there's,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the bigger theater programs have two theater teachers, two full-time or a
Yeah.
full and a part-time theater teacher that are running these programs. And I just feel like kids in Utah in general
Yeah.
are blessed to be able to be in this environment.
Yeah. If you pay attention to like the Jimmy Awards, there's always
Yeah.
a bunch of Utahns there. I mean, it is an embarrassment of riches. High school
Yeah.
theater. It's really
And
amazing.
I think you see that in also the community theater in Utah as well, and the professional theater. You see it
Yeah.
at all levels in Utah.
True.
Like Utah is rich with incredible theater. And I think that
Yeah.
that's really amazing. I mean, there's theater programs all over the country where there's no theater programs, where there's you're
Yeah.
lucky if you have a theater teacher or someone comes in to do the musical or the band teacher does the musical. So I just think it's so incredible that Utah understands how important it is to foster kids' development in this way, because schools aren't cutting sports, they're
Yeah.
cutting theater and music. So
My
please
high school,
don't.
we like barely pulled off Little Abner. I mean, we were doing like
What show?
Oh, Rachel.
Yes.
Hard to cast. Little Abner's not an easy role.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, let's dive into Hadestown. So I just saw it last week and at the teen edition, and it's Sarah, and it was incredible, really good. And Catherine Little, she's another incredible director here, and she did a great job with that. And there were over 40 in the ensemble, 40 students, all choreographed together. It was incredible. But then I saw the national tour yesterday. And I'm not saying this just because I'm not just saying this. It was not as good as these teen productions. It just wasn't. Like the singing wasn't as good. The staging wasn't as good. The it just wasn't as good. And people can think that's crazy, but it's true. I would defy anyone to not have that opinion. And so which is just interesting, and I just think that they did such a great job with this teen edition. I mean, it does not feel like you are missing out on hardly anything. They kept almost everything except for a little bit of boozy talk from Persephone. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, exactly. There's just a couple of Persephone's lines got altered, and then they changed the 5-person worker chorus into a 4-part harmony.
Yeah. Oh,
that's literally the only change in the entire script.
Yeah,
which is
that's interesting because it's like you see Into the Woods Junior, and it's just essentially the first act of Into the Woods. I mean, they sing, children will listen during curtain call, so that's nice. But when you're talking about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, how different that is. So absolutely fascinating that this teen edition is truly just taking out a couple things and really tweaking it, but giving teens the full experience.
Yeah.
Like that's really, and Rachel, just to speak to what you're saying, having not seen the national tour, I've seen the Broadway show. I think sometimes when I watch kids' productions or even work with kids, it's like that imagination and passion and creativity shining through and I'm not saying this is what happening in the national tour, but it's sometimes people are over being on tour. Sometimes, it becomes like, this is my job.
Yeah.
And sometimes honestly, the staging just isn't as inspired. So I think when you said that, I believe you 100%. Like I don't raise my eyebrow and go, really? I'm like, yes, I can absolutely believe that.
Yeah. And I would also say too, like the staging on Broadway, the original staging of the show is so vital to the direction and performance of that piece. And it's so intimate, and it's in the Wicker, right? The smaller stage, the smaller theater. So that when they try to take that on tour, it just doesn't translate.
Yeah.
Like redirecting a whole new production for the tour. It's the Broadway production on these massive stages without all the beauty and nuance and that's going on in the Broadway production. I think that also makes it really difficult for the team.
Yeah. And they only had 5 workers.
Yeah.
They only had 5 in the ensemble.
5-person worker chorus, yeah. Which again on Broadway I didn't even notice the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Same.
On the national tour though, it's like starkly obvious because that stage is so big.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder, Jordan, and they're not going to do this because of money, and I get it. There's got to be a bottom line. But I wonder what it would be like for Hadestown to tour to more intimate theaters and not the usual national tour circuit, because I think that you're spot on when you're talking about how that would serve the production better, because I did feel like the Broadway production did feel intimate. And I didn't notice that it was only a 5-person worker chorus. I felt enveloped.
And I think you're onto something, because I believe they actually did just start a second tour for 3-night sit downs. I think Logan is getting one. The national tour of Hadestown. It's not the same tour that's going to the big theaters, but a smaller one in smaller theaters.
That makes sense. In fact, I even was thinking that yesterday, that like, I would think I'd like this better in a black box.
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense.
When we did our production, even though we had 50 kids, 51, 52 kids in that production, we built a set that essentially cut our stage size in half or less than half. And then on top of that, we put audience members on the freaking stage.
Oh!
And so it was so close and intimate, even though we had, 50 plus kids.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about your set that you had. So you came up with this whole idea of sort of being the underground being like a subway stop.
Yeah.
And there being an elevator that would take them down to instead of the train, we normally see. That was so smart. How did you come up with that?
Thank you. Again, the team worked really well together. And so I took our tech team. We when we decided we were going to be doing the show and had announced it, it was actually, they released the rights to it out of the blue. I don't know how aware you are of what happened there, but normally they let you know a year in advance, 2 years in advance. Like they did like with Hamilton. They're like, in 2029, we're going to make a high school version. Like, great. So like, same with Harry Potter. Like you knew it was coming. And it was 1 week before the end of the school year when we announced our season. And we had decided we were going to do Big Fish, which I wasn't thrilled with that choice, but it was going to fit our actors well. And, some meaning that we wanted to get out of there. And an email just came in out of the blue from Concord saying, hey, we've just released a Hadestown Teen Edition. It's available today if anybody wants.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, what? And then everybody applied for it in the state of Utah. And then they put everybody's applications on hold. And so we were kind of in a weird spot because then we announced it because they were like, yeah, you can do it. So we applied for the license and then announced it. And then they put our application on hold along with everybody else in the state. And then they started approving some and then not approving some, which was weird. And we didn't, I mean, we still don't know why some people were permitted to do it, why some weren't. But we were permitted to do it. And so I took my tech team because we were also doing Harry Potter that year. So we had a super unique situation where both of the shows we were doing that year were still playing on Broadway. So I took our tech team, we went out to New York, and we saw Hadestown, and then we saw Harry Potter, and then we went back to the hotel and we sat down, and for hours we came up with this concept because we knew that we wanted to pull it out of the New Orleans 1920s vibe because we knew that we didn't have enough diversity in our school, and we wanted to be aware of cultural appropriation and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want to set ours in a location where it might seem,
right.
We had to come up with a different setting for it. And we were in New York, and we thought, wait a minute, what if we put this in an underground station, put it in today, right? Because it is a timeless piece. So let's put it in today in an underground station. And we started sketching, and then we started going to different underground stations. We got on the subway and we started taking pictures in all the different stations and exactly what do we want this to look like. And it's a lot of it is actually based off of the 50th Street station on the one line where you go down.
One of my favorite stops.
It's amazing. You go down the steps underneath the Din Tai Fung. That's right there. And you've got this like bespoke pizza bar place that's inside the subway station. And then you walk down onto the platform. And so we kind of designed our set after that. And it was incredibly detailed too, because we were going to have audience on the stage. And because, I mean, we actually had a functioning working bar on stage, all
you could get a mixed soda, mixed drink thing.
Stop.
Before the show, and we hired professional musicians to come in and be like subway musicians playing before the show, so you could come up, interact with them, and interact with the cast who was on the stage just hanging out before the show, and you could buy drinks. And honestly, we made so much money off of those drinks, it was incredible. But
this sounds incredibly unique and immersive, and I'm very impressed that you found that spot at 50th Street Station, because it took me 6 years of living in New York before I found that spot. So good for you.
I said that the set design, the set is outstanding, with a 2-story subway platform with lighting and sound to give the feel of a subway. It was also interesting that the lighting only had the iconic Hadestown mining lights underneath smaller platforms that they used to move the actors around the set. It was very effective, especially in Road to Hell reprise to end the show. And so that was very clever how you brought in the mining lights through the actual platforms of the set.
Yeah.
Of the subway.
That's one of those things that like you see it as an audience member and you're like, oh, cool. That's fun. Because for those who didn't see the production, which I assume is most people listening. But yeah, we had these like blocks that were 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot tall, and there were two of each, and they were hollowed out so you could see underneath. And that's how they would get from hell or get to hell, was they were moving around. They would go from block to block and have to jump onto them and whatnot through dense fog and haze. But each time they would move to a new block, the light on that block would come on underneath them, and the light on the other block that they just left would go off. And it seems cool as an audience member, but you just don't realize like the incredible amount of like effort to figure out how to do that, because like you can't just like flip a switch on and off. And each one of those boxes were rigged with uh like we had to custom make battery packs, and as well as DMX, wireless DMX, converters and transmitters, and all of this stuff going on underneath those blocks just for us to be able to, press a button and turn the light on or turn it off.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's so cool. Well, obviously, most of your students, as talented as they are not going to go on to have like Broadway careers. So what's your main goal aside from putting on a good show, what's your main goal with the students? What do you want them to take away from it? What do you want them to leave the show feeling?
Yeah, I want them to understand that theater can literally change lives, whether it's your life in the show or on the outside as an audience member watching it. And so that's something that we are always discussing, right? And that's why we care so much about it, because it's not just for fun or to put on a cool show or whatnot, but like the kids truly believe that what they are doing is going to make a difference in the world. And in fact, the vast majority of our kids don't go on to become, professional actors or Broadway actors or whatnot. We've had a handful, but the vast majority of them, take this love for theater with them and into, I always tell them, like, don't let it go away. Like, use your talents and your gifts that you've learned and made better over your time, and do community theater. Like, take an opportunity every now and then to use this, and then continue to promote the arts and theater specifically, in the world and in your community.
That's beautiful. That's great. Yeah. Wow. Well, I just really admire what you're doing. If you got to do one of the shows that you've done again, which one would you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have two answers for you, because I'm not one to repeat. I almost never repeat. And if I do, it's like with a whole different organization. I would love to do Starlight again. Not any different. I would just love to remount it for like the next generation of kids at the school. Like, I just want kids to come see it more and get more opportunity to see it. So that one would be fun. And then the other one that I would like to do again is back in 2020, right before COVID, like weeks before everything shut down. We did Matilda, and it was before we were in our new space here, our new theater here.
Uh-huh.
And Matilda is one of those shows that just changed my life when I saw it originally at Broadway, changed how I taught, who I was as a teacher. And so I actually played the Trunchbull in the show with my students, which was an incredible experience.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It was so fun. In fact,
I want pictures.
our Yona that you saw in Children of Eden, she was our little Matilda as a fourth grader.
Oh, no way.
But in that show, I was like, this show changed my life, so I want to do it exactly like they did it on Broadway. And so now I kind of have a little bit of this like desire to do it my way now. You know, like I want to do that show again and I want to do it my way rather than
yes.
be what Broadway was, you know?
Yeah. That's cool.
Do you have, sorry, then we'll let you go, but I just have to ask if you have any bucket list shows that you're like, I have to do this show.
I do. I have a couple that I would love to do at some point when I find the right time, the right kids, etc. I'm a huge Sondheim fan. I'm not going to say Into the Woods, Rachel. I know you're.
We won't trigger you, Rachel.
But I would love to do. There is a high school version of Sweeney Todd. That I would love to do, and I kind of want to do it in our black box, like a really
yes.
That would be amazing.
Meat pies at tables, and I just want this really immersive. That's kind of like my big one right now. I would love to do, and then Operation Mincemeat.
Yes.
The moment they release that for high school to do, I will most certainly doing that production. Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with us and for doing what you do. I think you're making a big difference in a lot of kids' lives, and you certainly brought a lot of entertainment to me. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That means a lot. And like I said, I just want to say one more time, like the team that we have here at Liahona, like we found a way to like come together, you know, and so I don't want anybody to ever think that it's just me or what, but it's our tech team, you know, and it's our costume designers and our Alexa, our music designer, our music director, and Jolia, our choreographer. That, you know, like Hadestown was the one show especially too, where it felt like everybody was giving their best work, and it was able to put forth a show that really affected people and meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, very good. Do you have any like social media for the drama program or anything like that? Or
at LPA Drama, at Liahona Drama, I think one of those two on Instagram. Okay. That's kind of where we're most active. But come check it out there. We're always posting what shows we're doing. We're I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Are you allowed to say the Shakespeare coming up?
The Shakespeare, yes, we're coming up. We're doing a Shakespeare festival. We've got a production of Measure for Measure that we are going to be taking to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland.
Oh my gosh.
But not Richard II, Comedy Fairs. Those are all going to be going on here at the end of April. You'll find that. LiahonaTheater.com is our website as well. It'll have all of that information. But right now for competition, we're working on a play called Eureka Day.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
no!
Just won the award last year.
That's so fun.
So we technically aren't able to have audiences come and see that because of our agreement with the company, the rights company. But we are doing that for the state competition coming up, and that's been incredibly fun to work on. If you don't know what Eureka Day is, clearly Jack does because of that reaction. So, look it up because it's a unique one and a fun one. Especially for kids to do.
Awesome.
That is so cool. Really great.
Jordan, can you be my theater teacher?
Come on over.
Well, that was so much fun. We definitely want to thank Jordan for coming on and talking with us. I hope it has inspired you and to get involved and to be ambitious and bold in whatever programs that you're a part of. And I just thought it was super cool to talk with.
Rachel, that was an incredible gift to get to meet Jordan. Thank you so much for bringing him on the pod. I always trust your taste implicitly, but this was an even more fun conversation I could have hoped for.
Well, how do people follow you, everything you're doing?
Jacqueline Collier on Instagram.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over the place, including rachelsreviewstheater.com. You can check out all my mini reviews of Jordan's Plays and much more. So check that out and make sure that you're following OnStage blog everywhere. We have daily articles that are really good. We've got lots of good discussions, especially on Facebook, but also social media. So you definitely want to make sure that you're following that and subscribe to the newsletter, all that fun stuff. Definitely please do that. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out our previous episodes. We've got a lot of fun ones and a lot of on high school theater that are very entertaining to listen to. So make sure to check that out. And thanks again to Jordan, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.